Is that Jesus Christ? Is that Jesus Christ? Please. Please. Promise.
Okay, once again, what the heck is this in the sky turning colors? They don't know. That's the purple, the reds, green to blue. Same thing, same kind of, same area that it was last week. I mean, I don't understand. There's no tall buildings over there with colors on them. You know, it's very easy to project that into the sky and make it look like it's something. And then with the technology they have now, it's very easy for them to create holograms to make it seem as if there's spaceships in the sky. To create sounds in your head.
Welcome back. Today we're going to start off with Project Bluebeam, part 1 of 2.
To create sounds in your head.
Yes, and for those of you that have been following my channel for a while now, I have been talking a lot about directed energy and frequency technology, and here we can see the 5G voice to skull, and we'll get talking more about that, especially in part 2.
This is all technology that is available.
Now what we are seeing here is the nanoparticulates, and this is AI Nanotechnology expert from Basis Project, Harold Kautz.
And these fibers, this fungus is infecting the human body, and with 95% or 99% of the people, nothing special happens.
Yeah, Harold Kautz-Vella, that goes back to 2015. Now this is my channel, The Deliverer. Here on videos, I recorded the exact same anomaly which he was showing was the nanoparticulates. Here on this video, The Days of Noah are here. Nanotechnology as a weapon. Let's look at what I recorded.
But there's nothing here.
Do you see those particulates? Okay, those aren't bugs or anything. This was over the summer. You could hear the crickets. So the point being, guys, is that if I'm recording this now, this was from 2019, the summer of, and Harold Kautz is talking about what he was recording using ultraviolet light right here back in 2015.
They just function as a plasmonic antenna to send out a signal.
Okay, did you hear that? We become antennas to send out a signal. Let's listen again.
They just function as a plasmonic antenna to send out a signal.
Absolutely, we become antennas. And this was back in 2015. So imagine how much further it has come since then. Now this is what we're going to talk about, okay? The metals in the atmosphere, this is what they show us for entertainment, okay? This is what they show us. This is the technology that they show to us. How terrifying would that be to look out your window one night, you hear some thunderous roar, some bombs going off, and technology that you're just not aware of, and all of a sudden you look outside and you see this, right? this would be literally War of the Worlds. A friend of mine sent me this clip from Asia. It was taken recently, but let's just have a look at this for a minute. This is pretty wild. It certainly looks real, okay, but these technologies that they have, the blue beam technology, Project Blue Beam, they could actually even create frequency, sound, air movement, all of it to seem so realistic that your senses would be completely deceived. Now look at this dragon here, okay? This is using 5G, 3D holographic technology. Now this goes all the way back to 2015. This is really cool. This was that city in the sky. It's called the Floating City in the Clouds. CNN.com. You guys could check it out for yourself, but let's have a quick look here. Let's see what it looks like. Now it's pretty crazy. This goes all the way back to 2015. I firmly believe that this was holographic technology. I mean, just look at this. This is like a city in the sky. You could actually even see, look here, the structures. Okay, there's clear edges, sharp structured edges. Make a square. Okay, this is not a mirage. Okay, this is a holographic technology, and what it is that it's gonna makes people panic because they don't realize that this is just technology, even though that the same people who are freaking out seeing this are the ones who are enjoying the entertainment holographic technology. Let's take a look at this swarm of birds. This is wild.
What is that? Oh my goodness. There's a car.
It's like a giant monster in the sky. Oh, raining. Oh my goodness, can you feel the wind?
Now the birds, yeah, that's cool. I mean, it could be real, it could still be holographic technology because they have the technology to even create wind and sound. Now this is what is very concerning. Now listen carefully.
Is that Jesus Christ? Please.
Now this is not only very sad, but this is where it starts to get very serious. Now this man who must be a believer, because the first thing that he asks when he sees a black floating blob on his cam, is that Jesus Christ? Let's listen again.
Is that Jesus Christ? Please.
Now, as troubling as that is, my brothers and sisters, we should not at all be surprised, for our Messiah tells us in Matthew chapter 24, verse 24, "For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect."
Is that Jesus Christ? Please.
No, that black blob's not going to fool anybody, but these dragons do. Okay, this is holographic technology, 5G, 3D holographic technology that they use for entertainment. Now think of this. What if you looked out your window after you heard some loud explosions and you saw this out there, accompanied by all sorts of a city in the sky maybe? You might think there was an actual coming of the Son of Man. Now this here is entertainment also. This is a place where we would take our family, say our children there for the day, sort of like you would take them to the aquarium, only this is holographic entertainment. That astronaut sure looks real, okay? He looks like a man walking, but he's not. And you can see that the children, they don't even think twice about it. It's just entertainment to them. You could see how the dolphins, they look very real. And that is just what they show us. So let's try to imagine now, if this is what they show us, how far advanced is the technology that they really have that they're not showing us? Even that water looks amazingly real. Okay, this here is incredible. This is called the greatest hoax, okay? NASA's Project Blue Beam. This is Serge Monast, 1994 presentation. And nobody did this better than Truth Unveiled 777 YouTube channel. Project Bluebeam Revealed. This is how they plan to unveil the false Messiah. This goes all the way back to December 24th, 2015. I probably saw this around 2016, and what seemed like it was just completely impossible even 4 or 5 years ago now, it seems like the most likely scenario. And the reason why I feel strongly that Father God is having me do this video is because they are planning to pull off the greatest hoax ever, just as it says right here. The greatest hoax, okay? That's what I believe is coming. With a whole heart, I feel that they're planning something big to fool the masses, okay? And they may not fool us, okay, those who are set apart and chosen, but they're going to fool the masses. So this again, I will leave this pinned in the description box. Truth Unveiled 777. Project Bluebeam Revealed. This is how they plan to unveil the false Messiah. So let's listen.
Truth Unveiled here, and I'm here to share this with you all because I think it's really vital and important that you know. And I think it's vital and important that you all who are truthers out there really know how they're about to unveil this false Messiah and how they're about to do it. Now, if you look up Project Bluebeam right here, which I have done right here for you, it's called Project Bluebeam. Of course, you have debunked, hoax, all this, lies, but this is how NASA, the infamous space program, this is how they will, in fact, bring about their Project Bluebeam, their false Messiah, Satan himself. Now, if you can check out all these files yourself, but I just like this one because it's very self-explanatory. This is, let me try to expand this a little bit, but this is basically talking about a transcript that Serge Monast, a French-speaking Canadian journalist, was talking about in cahoots with the presentation that he did about Project Bluebeam and about what NASA is planning to unveil. And if we read this report, this is what he says. Our task is to make the people realize that the coming of the New World Order is not a dream, neither a paranoid thought. It is a real satanic undergoing project. For what? Why are they doing this? 1, to abolish all Christian traditional religions in order to replace them by a one world religion based on the cult of man. 2, to abolish all national identity and national pride in order to establish a world identity and world pride. To abolish the family known today in order to replace it by individuals all working for the glory of one world government. To destroy all individual artistic and scientific creating works to implement a world's government, one mindset. Now remember, this was a taping that was done, a recording of an audio recording. So keep that in mind too. So some of the spelling, and everything may not be the greatest, but he goes on to say, and I recommend you read the entire report to its entirety. He goes on to talk about the classification of where certain prisoners will be. But then he goes on to talk about how this infamous project will be implemented, how the false Messiah will come. He says the famous NASA Bluebeam project has 4 different steps, 4 parts toward the implementation of the New World Religion with the Antichrist at its head. And we must remember that the New World Religion is the basic foundation for the New World Government. Without that New World Religion, such government, such worldwide dictatorship is completely impossible. That's why the project is not only so important to them, but was so well kept secret to now. And he revealed this back in the 1990s. Okay, the first step concerns the breakdown of all archaeological knowledge. It deals with the setup of earthquakes at certain precise locations of the planet, quote unquote planet, we know it's a plane, where supposedly new discoveries will suddenly explain for them the wrong meaning of all major religions' basic doctrines. What this basically means, in other words, is that they're going to target certain positions on the map, certain locations on the map, like ancient locations and different places that have like pillars and things like that, like Stonehenges as well. They're going to manufacture earthquakes at these specific targets and locations, and then say that, oh, now we found new evidence. Oh, now we found groundbreaking evidence that proves religion was wrong after all. This classification used to make the population believe that all religious doctrines have been misunderstood and misinterpreted have already started with the field of psychological preparation for populations. For the first step has been prepared through films like 2001: A Space Odyssey, the series, Star Trek, okay, and Star Wars. Wow. And what movie just came out not even a week ago? The 7th Star Wars movie, 7 days before Christmas, before the full moon Christmas. Just like in 1977, the first Star Wars came out 7 months before the full moon in 1977, the Christmas full moon. Is this a coincidence? So we know this deals with space invasion and space protection. In the last film, Jurassic Park, dealing with the theory of evolution. Jurassic Park, that film came out in the summertime, or Jurassic World, or whatever it's called. So the first step is that those earthquakes will hit at different parts of the world where scientists and archaeological teachings have been taught in the past, where supposedly there were some quote unquote hidden secrets. That is the first preparation for the plan of humanity, because they want to strike down and shake up all the beliefs of quote unquote Christians and believers of the true creator any way they can. Okay? They need to prove it, and they need to make you believe that it's false, and that everything that has to do with religion, everything that has to do with the truth, everything that has to do with the creator is false, when in fact they're lying to you, and they're using psychological operations like the films and TV to make you believe these lies, like Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and all of them. Okay? The second step deals with the gigantic space show with 3D optical holograms and sounds, laser projections of multiple holographic images to different parts of the world, each receiving different images according to predominating regional, national, religious faith. This new God's image will be talking in all languages. And then it goes down to say that they even have the technology so that they can implement this Godhead or God figure to talk in various languages. What does this mean? In other words, what they're going to do is they're going to basically turn the sky into a big space show, into this big, gigantic movie screen. They're going to put images of the different gods of the corresponding nation or region. So like, for example, in America, they're going to put a false image of the false white Jesus. In Islamic countries, in the Middle East, they're going to put, the image of Muhammad. In Asian countries, they're going to put the image of Buddha and possibly Krishna for India. And it's going to be all across the screen. And they're all going to be talking in all different languages. They have the technology to do this. They're going to be using optical holograms and sounds, laser projections of multiple holographic images to different parts of the world. That is how they're going to deceive you. That is how they're going to fool you. It's going to be a space show.
Okay. Fake space shows indeed. Just like one here, over in China somewhere. This was just recently. I don't know the exact date. So I'll see you guys real soon. Much love from God the Father. You have a blessed and safe weekend. Take care.